Hi, I'm Phil from PicoKit. Today we're going to look at how to create a sequence of LEDs on the PicoDice using PicoFlow Alpha. This is the second tutorial video, and the last video we actually looked at how to create the actual LEDs using the output pins of the microchip using an output tool. So let's have a look at what we did there. So here we have what we did last tutorial, and each of these output tools we've labeled differently so we can identify them easily. And when we look into the tool itself, you'll see that the settings have been changed. And what we did was we tested each of the pins to find out what that pin did. So in this one, turning G5 or general purpose pin 5 to a high value actually turns on corner LEDs too. So let's program that and see what it does. There it is, corner LEDs 2. And you'll see we've got this link that joins around on itself. If we delete that link, you'll notice that an error happens. And that error tells us there are no outlinks connected for this tool. When we create a sequence in PicoFlow Alpha or on any microchip, we actually have to put it in a loop so that it always completes itself and finishes somewhere. So what that means is that you can't have something just stop at the end. It always has to go somewhere, and if you loop it onto itself effectively, it stops because it's just going to do the same thing over and over. But that doesn't really get us where we want to go. We need to put all of these output tools in a single sequence, a single loop. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to put in between each a delay tool. Now this delay tool, you can think of it as a pause or a delay, but actually it's running through code all the time, but for a specified amount of time. So we can specify how long we want it to loop around, and when it's finished wasting that amount of time, then it's going to go on to the next tool. So 0.4 seconds is how we want to set that tool up, but we don't really have feedback there to tell us what's happening in the tool. So let's annotate, and we'll put in 0.4 SEC. And so now we know what that delay tool is doing. It's giving us 0.4 of a second, and then it's moving on. It's going to move on to the next one. So let's link it up. We can select the outlink, the link line of that first tool, and we can join it up. And you'll see it says there are no outlinks connected for this tool. So now we join it up and there's no errors, but we need to move this one back over to this tool. Do we? Not yet. First of all, let's copy and paste that delay. And we might put in a few delays in between each of those tools. Because a microchip runs at about 1 million times a second, it does 1 million instructions a second. And so that means that if we don't have a delay in between each of our outputs, it's going to blur those outputs together. And you won't see the LEDs turning on individually at all. So we have to define each of those. Now, before we run it, let's neaten things up a little. We're going to select all of those tools, and we're going to use a horizontal alignment and distribute them horizontally, and that cleans things up nice and presentable. If you want to go and print it out and hand it in to your teacher, put your name on it, and but now you've got it nice and visually set up there. Let's program it and see what it does. There we go. So it's in a continual loop. It goes from corner LEDs to center LED to middle LEDs, and it goes back again and does the same thing over and over. So that's how we create a LED sequence with the PicoDice using PicoFlow Alpha. Thanks for watching.